All right, buckle up for this one. We're diving into a story that'll have you wondering if miracles really do happen.
Oh,
We're talking about a tractor, a steep hill, and an event so unbelievable it's been called a miracle.
okay. I'm intrigued.
We've got first-hand accounts, news reports, the whole shebang.
Lay it on me.
So picture a Connecticut farm. Peace and quiet, the Mallet family. Ronald, Pat, and their 14-year-old son, Kevin.
Sounds idyllic.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But one day, this ordinary farm life takes a turn straight out of, well, almost a horror movie. Kevin, he loved driving the farm tractor, typical teenager.
Sure, I can see that.
But on this particular day, this chore turns into something terrifying.
Oh.
So Kevin's driving this tractor up a hill, steeper than usual, and the engine starts to sputter. The ground is loose soil, not exactly ideal for traction.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
And then, boom, the tractor crests the hill and starts rolling down the other side, completely out of control.
Oh, no.
Now, I can't even imagine what was going through the parents' minds as they watched this unfold.
Yeah, the sheer terror, it's every parent's worst nightmare.
Pat, the mom, starts praying for a miracle.
I can only imagine.
And then hold on to your hats, folks. The tractor just stops.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it doesn't gradually slow down or anything. It just stops midair.
Midair, like it hit an invisible wall or something?
Exactly. It defies gravity completely.
That's insane.
I know, right? Kevin's totally unharmed, climbs down, and then the tractor gently lowers itself back to the ground.
You're kidding me. That's like something out of a movie.
No kidding. Naturally, the family believes it's a divine intervention, an angel saving Kevin's life.
I mean, I can see why they'd think that. It's hard to explain otherwise.
Totally. But that's why we're here to dig a little deeper. Could this truly be a miracle, or could there be another explanation?
I'm all ears.
Now, they did mention the terrain was loose soil. Could that have played a role?
That's a good point. Maybe the soil shifted or gave way in a way that momentarily stopped the tractor, even if it seemed like a sudden halt.
It's possible, right? The way physics plays out in the real world can be pretty wild.
Absolutely. We think we know how things work, and then boom, nature throws us a curveball.
Now, another thing they mentioned, Kevin was a pretty skilled driver for his age. Could he have instinctively done something, even without realizing it, that caused the tractor to stop, even for a split second?
It's possible in those high-stress situations, adrenaline pumping, people can do amazing things. Maybe Kevin pulled off some crazy maneuver without even thinking about it. It's amazing how even little things like the type of soil or how good a driver is can make such a huge difference when you're trying to figure out what really happened.
Totally. And don't forget the psychological side of things, like how our brains react in moments of intense emotion. Yeah. That affects what we see and remember.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. You're watching what you believe is a life or death situation. Your son is in danger, and you're hit with this wave of fear, adrenaline, and then suddenly massive relief. It's got to do something to how you process and remember the event, right?
So their belief in the miracle, you're suggesting it's not just about faith, it's about how their brains dealt with that extreme stress.
Exactly. It's not about doubting their honesty. It's just recognizing that human memory, it's not like a video recording. Our emotions, our beliefs, they all play a part in shaping our memories.
That's really interesting. Makes you wonder how many so-called supernatural events could be explained by the way our minds work under pressure.
It's a humbling thought, for sure. The line between the truly unbelievable and the explainable can be so blurry, so influenced by our own unique perspectives.
Okay, so we've got physics, psychology, and then there's the family's deep faith. It seems like that's a big part of how they understand what happened.
Yeah, faith is powerful. It gives us meaning, comfort, a sense of order when things feel chaotic, especially when dealing with the unknown.
And in this case, their faith provided an answer for something that seemed to defy logic and reason.
Exactly. Instead of seeing it as a random, potentially tragic event, they saw it as a divine intervention, proof of their beliefs. And then there's the social aspect of belief, too.
Social aspect, what do you mean?
Well, the Mallets didn't keep this experience a secret, did they? They shared it, and their story became a local legend of sorts. That sharing, that communal affirmation of the miracle, it probably strengthened their own beliefs, created a connection with others who shared their faith.
Ah, so it's a feedback loop. The event strengthens their faith, they share the story, and then that shared belief makes their interpretation even stronger.
That's it. And this doesn't just apply to religious experiences either. You see it in politics, in fan groups, even in conspiracy theories. These shared narratives, they give people a sense of belonging. They make those beliefs harder to shake, even when there's evidence that contradicts them.
That's kind of unsettling, isn't it? The idea that our beliefs are so vulnerable to the stories we hear, the groups we're part of.
It highlights the importance of critical thinking, especially now when we're bombarded with information, misinformation, conflicting stories. We've got to be able to assess the evidence, consider different viewpoints, and be open to questioning our own assumptions.
But how do you do that when you're faced with a story as powerful as the Mallets? A story that taps into our need for meaning, for hope.
It's not about dismissing what they went through or their faith. It's about understanding that there are multiple ways to see things, that we can be wrong, that even the most incredible claims should be looked at carefully.
So it's about embracing the mystery, accepting that we may never know everything, but staying open to exploring different possibilities.
Precisely. And who knows, maybe in that exploration, in that willingness to face the unknown, we'll find something even more profound than a simple answer.
Wow, this deep dive has taken us on quite a ride.
It has, hasn't it?
We started with this unbelievable story, and now we're talking about physics and psychology and the impact of shared narratives.
It just shows how complex human experience is. One event, so many different ways to see it, each
Yeah.
way offering a different understanding of what really happened.
It really makes you think about all the other stories out there, the mysteries, the personal accounts that challenge our ideas about what's possible.
And that's exactly where critical thinking is so important. It's not about debunking, it's about approaching these stories with healthy skepticism and an open mind. Understanding that our understanding of the world is always changing.
So how do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we balance being skeptical and open-minded at the same time? It's like walking a tightrope, isn't it?
It is, it is.
Yeah.
But I think curiosity is the key. When we come across something that challenges what we think we know, instead of jumping to conclusions, we should be asking questions. What else could be happening here? What's influencing how I'm seeing this?
That's a good point. It's about asking those questions, being open to different perspectives, and admitting when we don't have all the answers.
Exactly. Sometimes, even if we don't get a clear-cut explanation, the act of questioning can lead to some really insightful discoveries.
Okay, so let's connect back to our listeners here. What's the big takeaway from all of this? How can they use these ideas in their own lives?
I think the biggest takeaway is about understanding the power of perspective. Our own unique experiences, our beliefs, the groups we belong to, they all shape how we see the world. And those perspectives, they can both limit us and open our minds to new possibilities.
So it's a reminder that there's always more to learn, more to explore, that even what we think is certain can be challenged and looked at in a new light.
Exactly. It's that constant questioning, that search for understanding, that really makes life interesting, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. So what will you take away from this deep dive? We want to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and remember there's always more to discover.